Hello everybody, this is the Pauper J, and I am back with some more War of the Spark Pauper Spoilers. And starting this off, just like last video when I ended it with Proliferate, we are going to be starting this with common Proliferate cards. And only one of these is green, the other two are blue and white. So starting off with the blue one, which is Contentious Plan, it is a one colorless and a blue sorcery with Proliferate and draw a card. So this card, I don't know where it's going to find its home in Pauper, but the fact that it draws a card and it's good, it replaces itself and it'll have a good effect. The fact that we don't have Planeswalkers in the format make this card not as valuable as it would be in other formats. And also Infect isn't like wanting this card either because it's only one more Infect. And then Martyr for the Claws is a colorless and a white for a creature human soldier. So it has a good creature type, and when it dies it proliferates. It's a 2/2. It's a 2-mana 2/2. It's a bear with Proliferate. So if you think of it like this, when you have a creature that sacrifices it and then gets a +1/+1 counter, you also get to give that creature another +1/+1 counter, but that isn't that important either. You gotta really find a really spicy way to use Proliferate. And then the other one is Courage in Crisis, which is 2 colorless and a green for a sorcery that says put a +1/+1 counter on target creature and then Proliferate. Okay, so we are in green for when we are going to be playing Proliferate and Pauper, I do believe. But the problem with this is it's basically the opposite of the removal spell I was talking about last week. If you guys want to go check that out when I talked about Proliferate beforehand when we got all of our really good cards, you can go ahead and do that. But yeah, it's Proliferate for 3 mana. We could technically run it if we need more Proliferate in the deck. But I don't think that we want to spend 3 mana to get 2 powers on a creature that could die unless we have a board full of creatures that have +1/+1 counters. We can get there. I mean, we can have a whole bunch of creatures, but that seems kind of like a win more situation because that's already where we want to be. I think there's so many other cards we'd want to play in that slot that would help us out in there anyways. Okay guys, now moving on to a couple 1-drops. We have Grim Initiate, a 1-red creature zombie warrior that has first strike, and when it dies it amasses 1. So a 1-mana 1/1 with first strike that when it dies you get another 1/1 that's a zombie creature type. It's awesome. Sadly it's in red. Unless decks really want to splash red for this for a zombie theme. I mean, it's fine. I don't know if red decks want it, and in Pauper it's kind of really hard to splash for other colors in order to play cards. And because the zombie deck, the deck that cares about zombie cards is mono black, it's not worth it to bring this in. But it's a 1-mana 1/1 first strike that replaces itself. So if it's not going to see play in zombies, what will it see play in? What deck wants this? It's great. I mean, it even as a 1/1 body survives things like Electrickery. What deck wants this? I don't know what deck wants it, but all I do know is it's a really good card. And the other card is a card that someone told me about, like, hey, this might be Pauper playable. I don't really think it is for the chances of getting 2 for 1 because it's an enchantment, but Kaya's Ghost Form is a 1-black enchantment aura. Enchant creature or planeswalker, we don't have planeswalkers, that you control. When enchanted permanent dies or is put into exile, so it protects both of them, return that card to the battlefield under your control. It's good, but you're just going to want to play good creatures instead, because instead of wasting the chance of getting 2 for 1, you're just going to want to play more cards that are like that creature. I know there are some creatures that there's only one of like that, but you might as well just run some card draw instead so you can draw into them and whatever other spells you want, because card draw generally draws multiple cards. And it's just really hard because if this card, let's say you have a 2/2 on the battlefield that has a really good enter the battlefield trigger, you try to equip your Kaya's Ghost Form to it, and boom! They bolt your 2/2. It's dead. Game over. You wasted 2 cards for their 1 card. And you didn't even get to swing in. You just lost so much value right there. It's not even funny. So both of these cards are like an honorable mention kind of thing. I think people are going to brew with them for a minute in Pauper. You might see them here and there, but they aren't anything to write home about. Okay, going on to our next little clip, we are actually getting into some cards that I think are actually Pauper playable, whether or not it's friendly or actually like part of a tier deck. So these aren't anything that's like actually like to build around. These are more things that you'll find in decks that have a theme already. So this is Topple the Statue, which is a 3 mana, 2 colorless, and a white instant. Tap target permanent. If it's an artifact, destroy it, then draw a card. I think this might be playable in some sideboards. I think people will brew with it. I don't know if it's exactly perfect, but it's artifact removal that draws you a card. Against like Affinity, you can either destroy one of their artifacts or you can go ahead on their turn before they attack. Tap down their biggest non-artifact dude if you need to really not take any damage. And you get a draw card. It can be used offensively by tapping one of their creatures on their turn, drawing a card, going to your turn, and swinging in. It's fine. I think 3 mana is a little expensive, but it's like not at 4 and 5 mana, whereas things get a little awkward. But 3 mana is like how much you'd have when you're holding up a counter spell, but if they don't play anything, you get to remove an artifact. It's going to be a sideboard card, obviously, that has the ability to tap a permanent. Also, technically, you can tap one of their lands before they go into their main phase. So if they're a creature deck, they kind of can't swing with creatures. It isn't that great of a card, but I think it's a little better than the other ones. It's fine. It draws you a card. It's good. Teferi's Time Twist is a colorless and a blue for an instant. Exile target permanent you control. Return that card to the battlefield under your control at the beginning of the next instance. Okay, it's owner's control, but it's going to be your control. It enters, if it's a creature, it enters with an additional +1/+1 counter. You go to bolt my creature? Nope, I exile it, it comes in, it gets its ETB again, it enters with an additional +1/+1 counter. This is so good for saving your creatures and triggering more ETB effects, which we are getting a couple of in War of the Spark, but I don't think this is what this is going to be used for. I think things like Muldrifter and stuff is something that's going to be fun to hit with this. Just generally anything that has a good ETB is going to be working great with Teferi's Time Twist. It's only 2 mana, it's at instant speed, and it gives you a +1/+1 counter. It's really good. I mean, blue's already pretty good though, so I don't know if this is going to go into anything exactly, but we do have flicker effects, and this is a really freaking good flicker effect. It's only 2 mana, and it enters again with a +1/+1 counter. And in the background, you see that I have Dove Ban with Thug Life glasses. I'm sorry, I just wanted to put Thug Life glasses on him. And so in the set, I think he's dying because I think Chandra hates him. I'm not really that into the lore, but this man's pretty dead. So he's pretty dead. Okay, guys, see ya. I'm going to go ahead and log off for the night. I got work all week until next weekend, where I'll probably be doing another Pauper spoiler video. See you guys later.